but you will be surprised how symmetrical their careers really are. Obviously, everyone knows about the submission against Bryce Mitchell. They both subbed him in the second round. But did you know that they both had 4 UFC fights before they got to that point? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll go down here with Gene. And he had 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not that weird. What, they had 4 fights and then they both fought Bryce Mitchell and submitted him in the second round? But what was also weird, 145-pounders, in that 4-fight skid that they had, well, not a skid, but they both went up to 155 and TKO'd, well, not TKO'd, knocked out in some case, knocked out a 155-pounder. Is that not a little bit bizarre? Like 4 fights, but they both made the jump to 155 and TKO'd a bigger guy. And something else that's a little bit weird, we first got introduced to Gene Silva on the Contender Series. So he actually has had 5 fights where we know about him, where Ilia did just come in straight into the UFC. But he did come into the UFC against Youssef Zalal and started off with a close decision, where Youssef Zalal, who we know now is a really good fighter, back into the UFC and in the rankings. But our first introduction to Gene Silva was very similar, a close competitive decision against Kevin Vallejos, who is now back in the UFC, gonna make a run himself, very well known, and people are looking out for him. So that is crazy, the symmetrical there. But of course, they both submitted Bryce Mitchell. They had 4 fights, and then they submitted Bryce Mitchell in round 2. Both of them did, 310, 352. And what happened to Ilia Topuria after he beat Bryce Mitchell? He got his first ever 5-round main event against big power puncher, who's not that technical of a striker, that people did respect and was definitely dangerous. He got his first ever 5-round main event against Josh Emmett. So what's happened now that Gene Silva has submitted Bryce Mitchell in the second round? Well, he has got his first 5-round main event against big power puncher, who's not that technical, but very dangerous. He's the underdog, as in Diego is. Josh Emmett was the underdog as well. I just think it is bizarre how symmetrical these guys' career is, and therefore, and this isn't my only reason, but Gene Silva is going to beat Diego Lopes this weekend. I reckon he does it by points as well, $5.30. Going on with the Ilia arc, you know, he's going to decision and batter Diego Lopes badly. Round 4, he 10-8s him, can't bloody speak, but he's going to 10-8 him in round 4. He's going to batter him in round 5, 50-45 for Gene Silva. It goes the distance this weekend because Gene Silva is on his Ilia Topuria arc. I hope I've narrowed that and showed you guys. Their 5-round main event against big power puncher, 4 fights before it. It's just crazy. And I do think Gene Silva is going to beat Diego Lopes. Let's talk a bit about that matchup. I've got Gene winning by decision. I like that the Fighting Nerds just lost last weekend. I think we're going to get it even more dialed in Gene. Like, would you prefer they both lost last weekend, or Ruffy gets a highlight reel KO and then Bahalio also won? Then I would be scared that Gene's got this stupid confidence where he thinks these Fighting Nerds are untouchable. He's going to go in there and try and highlight Diego. But now I feel like they've taken a loss. Ruffy and Kaio. Gene's going to be on his A game this week, and it's going to be like, all right, shit. Like, I can't just go in there willy-nilly, play around with this guy. We got to be locked in. Ruffy just lost. Bahalio just lost. So I think we're going to see a great Gene Silva. I'll even say I don't think he's even going to fuck around with him. But I do think, like, once Gene's in there, he just does fuck around. That's what he does. But I feel like we might even see him dialed in. He's 28 years of age. Diego Lopes is so hittable. Gene is so good at landing on people's chins. I reckon it goes the distance because Diego's so tough. And we've seen many times when Gene drops someone, he'll let him get up. He drops Jourdain in the first round. Does he, like, jump on him and go for a finish? Does Carlos Prates drop someone and go hell-bent for a finish? These Fighting Nerds like to set up the perfect shot, and I don't know if you're going to land the perfect shot on Diego Lopes. I feel like that one's a little bit tougher to do. Diego just looked very tough against Volk, but Volk's not really someone who's going to get you out of there. So Gene could definitely knock him out. It's crazy that it's $2.08 for the knockout. There's some good odds over here on Diego. I don't think he wins. You can see majority people are picking him. What's the tip? Gene by KO. I've got decision, guys. I've got decision. But yeah, I was looking at their records the other day and I was like, it is bizarre how the exact same they are. Ilia had 3 finishes. I think he had 4 though. He had 4. Yeah, all 4 of Gene's were finishers before, but they both had the decision against the guy that's now in the rankings and really good. And then they both got the main event against the Granite Chin Power Puncher. After that, 4 fights, submit Bryce in the exact same round. Gene Silva's on his Ilia Topuria arc, whether you like it or not. He will knock out Volk as well. This is what I think is going to come out of this. He's going to beat Diego Lopes by decision this weekend. Volk beats Lerone Murphy at the end of the year. At February or April sometime, we run Gene Silva versus Gene Silva versus Volkanovski. And what do you think is going to happen? Right hook. I reckon he knocks him out in the second round. So that's where this is all going to end at. Gene will have the belt. He will be the guy that dethrones Volkanovski next in the second round by KO. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for a fun champion who's ready to knock people out at the drop of a hat. The barking's annoying, but I'll push past it, you know. It's alright. It's alright. His fight style's that cool that it doesn't even matter. But yeah, we've been gone for about 6 minutes. I think I'll leave it there. The thumbnail was good, and I hope I hit the point home anyway. But yeah, I reckon the thumbnail and the title's good. So we'll see if this video gets views. But when they click on it, I think they'll be like, oh shit, this guy's not actually showing me anything cool. But the symmetry between Gene and Ilia is real, guys. And Gene Silva's on his Ilia Topuria arc right now. And he will dethrone Volk in the second round. He will beat Diego Lopes by decision this weekend, 50-43, 50-44. Drop him in round 4 as well. Because he's on his Ilia Topuria arc, and that's it. All right, see you later.